Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains episode summary discussion video. So we just got earlier today these summaries for episode 107, 108, and the title for 109. Also, there will be a 1 week break between two of these episodes. It's always unfortunate when you see that no episode on text appear on DMC's WordPress between spoiler episodes, but unfortunately, there is going to be a week break. It's completely normal. They usually do take a few weeks off every year, so no alarms or anything like that. But before we do get into it, now is your chance to click off the video, and the 106 summary was included in this batch. 106 is obviously airing on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday on June 12th, so if you want to know about that summary, I did a video on it already. I'll link it down below, but I'm sure most of you know the 106 summary already, and I will link this article down below in the description as well. So again, now is your chance to click off this video. 3, 2, 1, let us begin. Major thank you, as always, to DMC for translating episode 107, Striking Down the Ogre. Now, before we even get into the summary, I'm sure you probably know who that could be referring to, but this also does confirm that Robopi versus Blood Shepherd and Ghost Girl is going to be a two-parter, which is really cool. Robopi uses tricky tactics to drive Blood Shepherd and Ghost Girl into a corner. Ghost Girl is able to summon her new trump card with Blood Shepherd's help and proceeds to launch a counterattack against Robopi. Meanwhile, Go has managed to find the real I. He then begins a duel against I. So before we get into 108, I think it's cool that we are getting at least a two-parter with Robopi, Blood Shepherd, and Ghost Girl. I still say that this is one of the hardest duels in recent memory to call. I have no idea which way I am leaning in this duel. I think I'm probably leaning towards Robopi, because I feel like killing her off this early would be kind of crazy, unless there's a way that Robopi would be able to escape a loss, or maybe this is a clone of Robopi. We know there's going to be clones of I in episode 106, but I'm not sure if they would have a two-part duel where we get invested in Robopi's character, in her dueling, and then we just find out it's a clone. That would be a little bit of a letdown. So for that reason, I'm kind of leaning towards Robopi. These summaries don't really give much away. We know Ghost Girl has a new Altergeist. We've seen it in the opening. It's the one with that huge scythe. So it's cool that she needs Blood Shepherd's help to summon that. I think that will further the bonds between stepbrother and stepsister. So that'll be really cool. And yeah, I still don't really know which way I'm leaning in this duel. I'm probably slightly leaning towards Robopi, but I feel like it's a very hard duel to call. And unfortunately, between 107 and 108, there is no episode. So June 26th, mark it down in your calendars if you want. There is no episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains. So we have 106, 107, then we have a 1 week break, and then we will kick July off with episode 108, Indomitable Spirit, which, remember, that is how Flame introduced himself to Soulburner. There's no mention of Soulburner in this summary, but I still think it's pretty interesting that that is the title of this episode, especially given the context of this episode according to the summary. Go has recovered so that he can protect the children at the orphanage. He uses his Goki monsters to launch waves of attack against I. However, he keeps getting knocked down by I's powerful monsters. Despite this, his Indomitable Spirit still burns bright, and he keeps getting back up to challenge I. Seeing Go like this, I starts talking about what it feels like to lose one's friends. And then 109, we have the one who hunts the Ignises. Unfortunately, we don't know anything about that episode except the title and who will be writing. The main scriptwriter is Yoshida, and the main animator is No Gilbo. So 109, even though we don't know anything about it, should be a very, very high quality top episode. And I would think, based on that title, if Blood Shepherd wasn't already dueling, I would immediately think Blood Shepherd. But honestly, I think 109 could be maybe Revolver versus I. The one who hunts the Ignises, that's always been the Knights of Hanoi. It's always been Revolver. I think right after Go versus I, we might have a Revolver versus I duel that Yoshida is scripting and No Gilbo is animating. So it's going to look beautiful, and it should be pretty competently written. So that's something to look forward to in 109, but all we can do is speculate there. Of course, there's no confirmation that it will in fact be Revolver versus I. So Go Onizuka is dueling again, and do I like Go's chances in this duel? Absolutely not. I don't think Go has much of a chance, but I'm hoping that this duel wins back a lot of the fans that have not really loved the path that Go has gone down. The last time that Go has dueled, or that I've been this excited for a Go duel, was probably when he dueled Earth, which I still think is one of the most shocking results of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains thus far, which led to one of the most dramatic moments and the most emotional moments of the show, when Earth was literally cut to pieces and disintegrated by Soul Technologies. But this duel goes a little more beyond just Go trying to stop I, and yeah, Go and Playmaker had a bit of a rivalry, so I maybe knows Go's tactics, and they know each other through that. It's a little more personal than that, especially for I. It's actually much more personal than that, and that's why I like that this is the duel that's happening. It's not like the writers of VRains put a blindfold over their head, they did a pin the donkey game, and whatever spot they pinned on the donkey was a different face of a character, and they said, alright, I's going to duel this character. We just picked him at random. No, this is a calculated decision to have I duel Go. Because remember, Queen was not the one that single-handedly defeated Earth. Akira was not the one that defeated Earth. The one that defeated Earth in a duel and brought Earth to Soul Technologies and captured Earth for his eventual death was Go. Go is directly responsible for the painful death of the Earth Ignis, and we know a main motivation of his, he's already said it in episode 104 when he went to visit Queen, is that he wants revenge for Earth. Well, I can complete revenge for Earth by defeating Go here, because the two people that were directly responsible for Earth's disintegration was Queen and was Go. And so I love that this duel is actually happening. I think the emotion there is going to be great. I'm excited in 108 that I is going to start talking about what it feels like to lose his friends. A lot of speculation, and we can still speculate even based on these summaries, of what happened to I. Is I like this because he lost his friends, because he's dealing with survivor's guilt, or is he like this because the backup he created when he dueled Bowman, something went awry there? I would go out on a limb and assume that this line indicates to us that I actually might be the same I, that he might not have changed, and that survivor's guilt and the loss of all of his friends and his comrades and the Ignis that he viewed as his family, there's not even any place for him to return to. He doesn't even have a home anymore. He lost his home, he lost his family, he lost his entire life through this whole Bowman epidemic, through these last 2 seasons, and I know it's going to get a little grim here, but I have seen people in real life change for the worse when they lose someone that is very close to them, when they lose someone that they love. I've also seen some people use it as inspiration to be a better human being, and, you know, it goes both ways. It kind of speaks more to the person than the situation, but I'm just wondering if this situation is so dire and extreme that I really has went down this route under his own accord, which is a route that I would kind of like for them to take, because it shows me that I was not always like this, but this is what the cruelty and reality of life can sometimes be. And Go, who went down a very similar route, that's another thing that I kind of like about this duel. These two characters went down pretty similar routes. Of course, we don't know enough about I to say that, but remember, Go lost, he was killed off, and while he didn't lose any friends, the route he went down, I don't think what happened to Go was nearly as extreme as I, but again, it speaks to the person, it speaks to the personality for how they deal with tragedy in their life. And Go went down a route that I thought spoke very well to the pressures of society, especially when you're a celebrity and in the limelight, to people just crumbling under that pressure and turning inwards and becoming very bitter, and that's exactly what happened to Go in Season 2, and it seems like he's on the recovery, right? It seems like he's protecting the children at the orphanage again. He's on the recovery, and now you have I, who has fallen, who has crumbled to those pressures because of, I think, much more dire circumstances than the one Go faced. But still, the way that Go will be able to maybe speak to I and reach out to I and even use the line he used against Soulburner after he lost to Soulburner, one of my favorite lines. When you face defeat, when you face tragedy, there are 2 things you can do. You can either let it rot you from your inside, or use it as a springboard to be a better version of yourself. And Go in Season 2, he let it rot his insides. And he became, he became physically unhealthy. He wasn't even eating. He wasn't working out anymore. And that's what happened to him when he faced those pressures and when they got to be too much. He was blinded by that, and he thought the best way to go about it was to sell out to Soul Technologies. I is kind of blinded by what's happened here, but again, there is a little bit of difference because what happened to I, losing all of his friends, losing his home, losing everything, it's a lot more extreme. So I don't like Go's chances in this duel, but I am actually very excited. This actually might be the most excited I am for a Go-Onizuka duel, and I don't think he needs to win this duel to have a good moment in this arc. What I am worried about is that 5 episodes into Season 3, Ghost Girl, Blood Shepherd, and Go might all be killed off. And I'm starting to wonder if all these characters, except the ones that are in the VRains, when the animation changes in the opening, are going to be killed off. And the only characters left are going to be Kusanagi, Playmaker, Blue Maiden, Soulburner, and Revolver. Because you would imagine that I probably is going to succeed in these initial plans to get the keys to take over Soul Tech, and then the heroes are going to have to re-fight I and try to save the world. That's at least the route I imagine it's going to go, unless there's some big plot twist, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, the Ghost Girl and Blood Shepherd and Robapi duel I'm still a little undecisive on, but the Go and I duel, I'm pretty confident that we probably will see I pull out the win. But yeah, the dialogue should be really good. It'll be cool to see more of I's deck, and I'm excited for it. I'm honestly, again, the most excited I've been probably for a Go duel. But you guys let me know all your thoughts on the 107, 108, and the 109 summaries and titles. A special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Alexa Baker, Glen McGookin, Jorge Carrillo, James Rose, Samuel Stark, Thomas Adderley, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Vincent Van Der Veen, Rexkentrix, Jordan Osceola, and Smith620, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Garrett Palmer and Jesse Wood, and to my Egyptian God tier patron, Chris Swan. A huge thank you to everyone who supports me over on Patreon. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it and how much it does help out the channel. Thank you to everyone who just watches these videos and comments, because without you guys, I would not be able to do this. Very excited to talk all things Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.